This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa. Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet world. West Alabama, how are we doing today on a Tuesday? It's the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. You guys are hanging out with us on the Bama Central YouTube channel, Facebook page. You're hanging out with us on my own social media machine at Joe Gaither6. Listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon. I can't thank you enough for subscribing, rating, reviewing the show on your favorite podcast platform. I appreciate that very, very much. Sharing the show with a friend on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, whatever your friend likes to use. We're going to have a lot of fun today in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios with our friend Mason Woods. You can find Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. He's covering all things recruiting for the Walsh Writing Network, and going to have a huge day tomorrow as it is early signing day. So we're going to get into some of that with Mason, but we want to thank Derek Daniel for sponsoring and hosting the program. You can call Derek for all your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. And we also thank Purple Turtle Roofing for sponsoring the program. Call Purple Turtle Roofing for your free roof inspection at 877-787-6635. Brax Garrison will join us later in the week to give us his thoughts on the Iron Bowl and his thoughts on this upcoming SEC championship, playing a team twice. We'll get his insights on all that with Brax Garrison of Purple Turtle Roofing. But in the meantime, make sure that you're ready for Santa to land on your roof and deliver all the gifts that you already asked for by calling Purple Total Roofing at 877-787-6635. You know, I know you asked for a bunch of gifts from Miss Melissa. You need to make sure that your roof is ready for him to land on. Those reindeer, they're pretty rough on the roof, Mason. And so if they have a good landing spot, Melissa will have a great Christmas. And so you need to make sure your roof is ready. Call them at 877-787-6635. They'll make sure that you are good to go for the Christmas season, and we appreciate them sponsoring the program. Like we said, we're going to talk a little recruiting with Mason, as tomorrow is National Early Signing Day. Alabama football has had a couple of interesting recruiting developments. Last week we talked about Sam Utu decommitting here just briefly, but Alabama's brought in, I think, 2 commits and had another jump back on. It was a miscommunication with Zion Gibson. So we'll talk recruiting with Mason. We'll get Iron Bowl reactions from Mason. I did post the morning story, my defensive reaction to really everything I saw in the Iron Bowl defensively from Alabama, trying to defend quarterback run, trying to really, I mean, you were on fire for the first handful of plays, but just trying to point out how razor thin the margins are. One missed tackle can really stack up on you and change the momentum of the game. You can read about that on BamaCentral.com. We might mention some of that today. We're going to talk about Alex Golesh. I think we should because we've talked about him throughout the year being the coach that I wouldn't want a rival to hire, and boom, a rival does go and hire Alex Golesh. I know he hasn't had championship success at South Florida quite yet, but he took over a South Florida team that was like 1-11 the year earlier. So I think he's done a pretty good job rebuilding South Florida into something pretty respectable, and we'll see what he does at Auburn. We'll try to set some expectations at Auburn. We might mention all the Lane Kiffin drama, the Lane Kiffin hoo-ha that's gone on. What's your favorite Lanestein file story? Which ones do you believe? Which ones do you not believe? We might mention some of that. We'll talk about Alabama taking on Georgia. We had some players' press conferences yesterday, teleconferences, excuse me. You can hear that on the Bama Central YouTube channel already. Raylan Wilson, C.J. Allen, and Gunnar Stockton from the Georgia side. And then we had Ty Simpson, we had Deontay Lawson, and Tim Keenan from the Alabama side. Tim Keenan, really the only spicy one. Tim Keenan identifying a mismatch in this SEC championship game and calling Auburn little bro about 4 different times on that teleconference. So if you want to hear Tim Keenan, that's the one. If you only have time for one, I would suggest you listen to Tim Keenan's, but all 6 of those teleconferences are on the Bama Central YouTube channel right now as we speak. And we appreciate everybody subscribing to the Bama Central YouTube channel. We'll be in the Malmore facility in just a couple hours, talking to more players. Maybe we'll get Ty Deontay and Tim Keenan again. I'm not quite sure who they're going to put up at the podium, but we will have some Alabama players up on the Bama Central YouTube channel shortly. So with all that, the game plan laid out. Good morning, Mason. Welcome back. How we doing? Hope your Thanksgiving was good. It's been since Thanksgiving. It's been since last Wednesday. Long weekend for Mason. Obviously, you were with us on the Thursday program where we talked to Peter Radricus, but full disclosure, we recorded that early, so I haven't seen you since Wednesday. How was the weekend, man? How we doing?
It was very good. I had a great weekend. I had a great Thanksgiving. Got to see everybody. Got to see the family. Spent some time, ate some good food, watched a lot of football. Won fantasy football. That was nice.
Hey, I lost by
I
2
locked
points.
in my spot in the playoffs already, so that feels good. But yeah, it was good. It was a good weekend. Obviously we get the Alabama win. A lot of crazy happenings on the recruiting trail over the last 4, 5, 6 days. So big things have been going on, but it's been good.
There we go. Best Thanksgiving side or piece on the dish, piece of the spread. Turkey exceptionally good this year.
I'm a big
Ham.
sweet potato guy. I love some good sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick though. Everything was so good.
I know it. It's like we run that game last week with the Alabama football players and just with everybody in general. And then when it comes to Joe, you got to answer the question. I'm like, dang, it was all really good this year. So a lot to be thankful for. Absolutely. Let's get right to your expertise because recruiting has gone kind of crazy over the last week and change, really since the Sam Utu decommitment. And you can read all this on BamaCentral.com. Mason's keeping you updated. Alabama Crimson Tide on SI. You had the Sam Utu decommitment. You brought in 2 commits, a tight end and a lineman. I don't really know anything about either. And then on Sunday night, you've got just some wildness happening with Zion Gibson, Alabama's longest tenured recruit. So just take us through your last 4, 5, 6 days in your real expertise area.
Well, we can start with the Sam Utu decommitment. Obviously,
Roll Tide, George Harris.
We talked about that last week. You miss out on Sam Utu, 4-star prospect in the 2026 class, offensive lineman from California, had been committed to the Crimson Tide for a while, but had not been a guy that had really been on campus really at all this fall. So maybe something we kind of saw coming for a bit there. But Alabama goes out and gets seemingly his replacement here in Tyrone Miller, the JUCO prospect from College of San Mateo in California. So another California guy. Pretty similar size-wise. Sam Utu is 6'4" to 320, and Miller 6'5", 305. So I think, I hinted at last week that maybe this was something to do with Utu being a little bit outside of the range they're wanting to target with offensive linemen. Again, don't know if that's why he decommitted or not, but getting a guy that's a little smaller kind of strengthens that case to me a bit. I think Alabama has seen what has happened with the offensive line this year. And a lot of them
can't get low.
Yeah, a lot of them just being too large at this moment. So seemingly, at least they're trying to get a little bit slimmer at the position and get some more athletic guys. And I think Miller is certainly one of them. Being a JUCO guy, there's not a whole lot of information about him, obviously.
Oh, do you know how many years he's been in JUCO? Is this his first year?
1 year at San Mateo.
So he's going into basically a sophomore season.
Yeah, so
we'll see if he gets the Diego Pavia rule where the JUCO year doesn't count.
Yeah, we will see. 10. They went 10-1, or I think are 10-1 this year. They got 1 game remaining. San Mateo does against the Modesto Junior College for the Northern California Football Regional Finals.
All right, let's go, Modesto. Let's go.
But yeah, again, like I said, I think he's a good player. Pretty good replacement for Sam Utu. I think you had to go get one in this class. You're not necessarily hurting an offensive lineman, but it also does not hurt to go get one if you can. So I'm happy with the addition here. I think Alabama gets a player that, maybe with a little bit of development will find his way onto the field eventually. And then we'll just move right into the next commitment.
Yeah, please.
The tight end from Georgia. Another commit from the Peach State. I don't even know exactly how many it is. It feels like it's probably almost 10.
Did we get Kyle Pitts? Did we get Colson Loveland?
No.
We get Travis Kelce?
No.
Okay, all right.
You got Jack Samarco and Brody Dalton.
Okay.
Yeah, you got replacements for them.
All right.
6'2", 225, 3-star tight end Jude Cascone from Walton High School in Marietta,
Jude.
Georgia.
Hey, Jude.
Not exactly how much of a receiving threat he's going to be. Let's see. I know I had his stats in here. 13 games this past season, 16 receptions for 238 yards, 4 touchdowns. So, I mean, somewhat active as a receiver, but
16, 238, and 4. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
All right, great.
But I think he's more of a blocker. I just size-wise, skill set-wise, I think we'll probably see him serving maybe in the role that Alabama has. I don't know. Nobody's really seemingly been like the main guy. We don't have that Robbie Oots on this year's team. A little bit smaller than Robbie Oots, but you never know. Maybe he jumps into that kind of role for Alabama.
Sure.
He's also played a little bit of linebacker this year, 21 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 3 sacks this season. So, yeah, I mean, you now have 25 commits in the class with those two guys. You are still holding, I think, the number 2 class in the SEC, a top 5 class in the country. So you're feeling pretty good as you head into the early signing period tomorrow.
Number 2 behind Texas
I think
Georgia. All right. Great. We don't care.
Yeah, I believe Georgia.
We don't get them on campus. We're going to retain them, and develop them as we retain them.
And then I guess the craziest story of the weekend, this is late Sunday night. I am getting ready to go to bed so that I may sleep my tiny little wink before I have to get up at the butt crack of dawn and go into Home Depot. Zion Gibson, Alabama's longest commit in the 2026 class, made his announcement all the way back in December of last year. Picked Alabama. I think it was over Tennessee, Texas A&M, and I want to say Miami. Had a big announcement at school and everything, did the whole pick the Tennessee hat up, throw it on the garbage, throw the Alabama hat. It was a big ordeal. So seemingly has been very locked in with the Crimson Tide. He's been on campus 3 or 4 times this season, been a guy that is constantly tweeting at other recruits. Oh, come to Bama. Oh, Roll Tide this, Roll Tide. So late Sunday night, you see the Twitter notification come through, Hayes Fawcett. Everyone knows it well. Zion Gibson has announced his decommitment from Alabama, and it is shocking. This is something that I never even had any semblance that this could happen. So, this is probably about 10:15, 10:30 or so that night, maybe 10 o'clock. Get it written, get going, whatever. Texts our coworker, Hunter DeCiver. He gets it put out on social media. And, on we go with the night. I'm getting ready to go back to bed. And about 15, 20 minutes later, after the article has been posted, after I have tweeted, after I had made Facebook posts, Zion Gibson announces he is not decommitting from the Alabama, but he is in fact staying with his pledge, and he will be signing tomorrow on December 3rd. I don't really know what happened here. He released a statement. Let's see. In his statement, he said, earlier today, a post was shared about my decommitment. I want to clarify that this message was the result of a miscommunication. I am standing by my pledge I made to Bama. I will be signing on December 3rd. At this point, I will not be doing any interviews. Roll Tide. So I don't know what level of miscommunication could have led someone to believe he was decommitting when he is seemingly this locked into his pledge to Alabama. But regardless, it was a very eventful Sunday evening for one Mr. Zion Gibson. But he is still with Alabama. You will still be getting the 4-star cornerback from Gadsden. 6 foot, 175 pounds. Not exactly the most physically impressive guy, but a super speedy, cornerback that is really sticky in coverage.
All right. So thank you for staying, Zion Gibson. Let's make it happen. And I guess maybe he enrolls in a couple of weeks. We'll see. We'll absolutely see. Somebody was talking to me about the transfer portal and recruiting, and they're like, we need to have just a summer window. And I was like, so that the guys can play spring practice and then transfer on. They're like, well, and I was like, February needs to be the time.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, most people don't enroll into summer anyways. I was like, buddy, you're about 7 years too late there. Most people now are enrolling mid-December, 1st of January to get a jump on their freshman year.
It will be a surprise if every member of Alabama's class is not signed by the end of the early signing period.
So there we go. Kane Womack and company, Courtney Morgan and company doing some work, and we'll have a lot more written action on BamaCentral.com tomorrow.
Oh, man. I do got to mention.
Please.
Just got to throw a shout out to the guys that will be playing for state titles this week.
Yeah.
We've got, I think, 6 Alabama commits. We've got Xavier Griffin and Jamarian Matthews, which that remains to be in limbo. I have not seen what the latest update is.
The last thing that I saw was that they're still not playing that semifinal. Tell me what you got.
That is what I saw as well. After the on-field brawl, we talked about it, I think, on this show last week, maybe the week before now. But anyway, Gainesville gets into an on-field brawl with their opponent in the second round playoff game. 39 players from the Gainesville Red Elephant are suspended for the following third round game. Gainesville appeals the decision. The GHSA decides to reverse the decision or the suspension of only 4 of the 39 players, leaving 35 of them still suspended for this game. So then Gainesville takes it to the court. The court sides with the high school. And now the GHSA, the Georgia High School Association, has basically gotten upset with that ruling and decided, well, we'll just postpone the game indefinitely until we can figure out how we're going to sort this out.
So 5A is not going to have a state championship.
I don't know what's going on. The game, the third round game, I believe, is scheduled for December 4th. So you've still got a couple days, to get a decision in before they maybe have to do that. But it's looking really weird. There's a lot of people, a lot of politics at play here. I think with all of this, it's unfortunate for the two Bama commits.
Keep politics out of sports.
You just want to see these guys get their chance to play for a state title. I've seen the video multiple times of the altercation from last Friday or whatever night it was. I don't believe that either of them were involved really whatsoever with it. But we'll just kind of have to see what happens. It's kind of it's an ongoing thing, but they have advanced to the third round of the playoffs. They won their second round game 49-0. They
waxed that team.
Yeah, I mean, they had to call the game early, I think, because it got out of hand so bad. So anyway, but the next guy, 5-star running back Xavier Crowell, going to be playing for
Jackson.
a state title this week with Jackson on December 5th. Who are they playing? They're playing Anniston High School.
You going
undefeated
up there?
Anniston High School.
You going up there? Birmingham.
Possibly.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Let's see. 5-star Jaira Edwards playing in the national championship.
Not against IMG, though.
Not against IMG. The game was supposed to be against IMG Academy, which all of you are very familiar with, I'm sure. The well-known school in Bradenton, Florida, that has produced some of your favorite NFL, NBA,
Tyler
MLB,
Booker,
whatever stars you want to name them. I mean, they got athletes everywhere from IMG. So, yeah, the game was supposed to be against them. It was going to be a clash of two titans of high school football. St. Francis in Baltimore and IMG, but IMG backed out after learning they would have to. The game is not going to be played, I think, until when is it? December 10th. IMG's season ended on like November 1st or something. Like that was their last game. Like they would have had to wait over a month of just not doing anything basically to play this game. So they backed out. They have since been replaced by a team from Utah, Corner Canyon High School. And look, I'm not going to judge a book by its cover. But I have a feeling that Jaira Edwards and St. Francis might just win this one pretty handily.
They need to go get a Jet Tamala school.
I don't think that would go very much. I don't know that would go very well either. Millard South may be in for a rude awakening in that one.
Yeah,
they're playing real football over there at St. Francis.
St. Francis.
They're playing college football over there at St. Francis, basically. So we'll have to see. Like I said, the game is going to be on December 10th. It'll be on ESPN2. You'll be able to watch it at home if you want to see Jaira Edwards in action. He was on ESPN earlier this season. I got a chance to watch him play Chaminade Madonna out of Florida, and he was all over the field, knocking guys out of bounds, delivering big-time hits. I'm really excited for him. Next guy, 4-star defensive lineman Corey Howard from Valdosta in Georgia, also playing for a state title this week on December 5th. We'll be playing Buford High School. That'll be a semifinal, so they're looking to get to the state title game. Chris Booker, the same thing, looking for a chance to advance to the state title game on December 5th, playing Sumter County. And then 2027 guys, Jabarius Gare, who I'm sure many of you have heard about. Jabarius Chicken Gare, the best nickname I've ever heard. Just
Viger.
Chicken. It's great. Yeah. Has Viger facing off against Moody for the Alabama 5A state championship. This season, he has 94 tackles, 25 and a half tackles for loss, and 17 sacks.
Yeah, the game I went to watch them that played Northside, I don't want to say sandbag the first three quarters because I don't think any player does that. But when the fourth quarter happened, and it was like, yeah, still 7-ish point game. We need to stop to crack this thing open. He was sack, quarterback hurry, sack. It was like, oh, you poor tackle. You've been seeing me in third gear. Here's me in fifth gear. It was like basically automatic quarterback pressure on that on one of those final drives, and I was like, "Holy smokes!"
He is an absolute freak. To be that belong in his development seemingly as an edge rusher and only be a 2027 guy. I'm very, very excited for what he's going to bring to Alabama.
Yeah, well, let's get him reclassified.
yeah. Honestly, I think he could. And then the last guy on the list, Trent Seaborn, 2027 quarterback from Thompson High School in Alabaster. They will be playing Opelika for the state title on December 3rd. Looking to win their second consecutive state titles. We will see. Jet Tamala has already won his second consecutive state title this year. Maybe another Alabama quarterback can do the same.
There we go. Let's do it. Let's see what happens. So there's your recruiting update. Lots of guys playing 4 state championships in the 26 class and a couple in the 27 class as well. So future is bright in Tuscaloosa as long as most of those guys make it to campus. And obviously, the recruiting, some guys go flip at the last moment, and most of them stay committed. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. Thanks for the info and update, Mason. Let's move you into the Iron Bowl. Alabama 27, Auburn 20. I know you watched the show on Friday. You heard me say 28-20, didn't
That's
you?
crazy. That's crazy.
I'm sitting there in the living room as it's 4th and 2 and thinking, dang it, they're going to kick a field goal. Oh, they're going for it? Yeah, Kalen, give me my number. Give me right. And obviously 27 and 28 are not exactly the same, but close.
Close enough.
And then I'm like, well, boys, no more scores for Auburn. And you had Bray Hubbard pop that fumble out. Bray Hubbard all over the field, pop that fumble out. Deontay Lawson fall on it. And I was a little early tweeting it because there was still the timeouts. And some was like, are you trying to jinx this? I was like, no, I'm confident right here.
Yeah,
like, okay.
I think even with Auburn getting the ball back there with 34 seconds left or whatever it was, you were okay.
Yeah, I was pretty pumped to see that. But what was your reaction? You saw the run game get going a little bit. You saw Ty still off, but deadly in the red zone. I mean, you got to give him credit for in the red zone. Really, really good. But I know you listened yesterday. You heard me talk about your fear in the summer, the Ty Simpson stat line that you feared. Look at his line. It's like 16 of 30 something for 122 odd yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. So it was like the exact stat line that you're like, I sure hope I don't see Ty Simpson play this way. No targets for Ryan Williams. We'll take it any direction you want to go. What was your reaction to Alabama's victory in the Plains?
Well, first off, you ruined the season of that Cal College across the state, so that was totally satisfying to watch. I mean, we'll start with the run game because that was the thing that really impressed me the most. It was like Alabama just found a run game out of nowhere. You dug deep, you reached into the bag of Ryan Grubb, Nick Sheridan, and Kalen DeBoer offense, and you pulled out some semblance of a run game. The offensive line was getting good. Like, this was the best I feel like the offensive line has played in a bit. Obviously Ty got a little bit of pressure. The pass blocking was not the best I've seen from them, but as far as run blocking goes, this is some of the best run blocking they've probably done all year. Guys are actually getting push off the ball. I thought Caden Proctor was moving well. I mean, I really thought everybody was doing a pretty good job. Parker Brailsford was a monster when he was able to be on the field. You could tell he was a little banged up, but I think regardless of that, he was still able to get pretty good push despite his somewhat smaller size. I was really impressed with Alabama. You did the things that I mean, how do I think I have a phrase? Like, obviously it's still a pretty close game. It's not like the offense went out there and just completely dominated, but it never really felt like it was that much in doubt either at the same time. I thought for most of the game, most of the time when you had the ball, it was like, okay, you're doing all right. You're moving the ball. You're getting what you need to get to continue going in this game. It was, you didn't exactly wow me, but you certainly weren't bad either. You did what you had to do. So I was impressed with that. You mentioned Ty in the red zone. Yeah, he was great. Not his most shining game by any means, but again, not bad. He did exactly what Alabama needed him to do in the moments they needed him to do it. You get that touchdown pass to Isaiah Horton to open things up. The really, really impressive one where he's just kind of fading back off his back foot. Guy wrapped around his ankles, and he finds him right in the back there. I hope that means that connection is improving and we see it maybe from here on into the postseason be a threat to opposing defenses, because I really thought going into this year that was going to be something that would be super deadly for this Alabama offense. But I don't know. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this performance. The defense was great. Defense continues to be really, really good. You had a few misses here and there, but I think you kind of hit on it earlier. Like, most of the quote unquote bad plays for the defense, like, it was, okay, one guy misses a tackle and it snowballed. Like, it's not, okay, you got 4 or 5 guys out of position and you completely busted this coverage. It was, okay, a freshman missed a tackle and then it goes for 30 yards.
Speaking of that, did you see the way LSU lost to Oklahoma?
I don't believe I did, no.
They were in there, a really close game, and Mateer finds Satanga for like 60-something yards, and they show the replay, and half of LSU's defense is in cover 2. The other half of the LSU's defense is not, and Satanga goes very, very open, and that's like, oh, here's a layup. We're in the playoffs, and you guys are still where you are, waiting on Lane Kiffin to arrive that day.
When's
Continue.
Shoes coming to Baton Rouge? Oh yeah, but yeah, Alabama's defense was good. I was impressed with them. Like I said, it was the chunk plays, the big daggers that Auburn got in this game. Like, it was the result of one guy missing a tackle. That I think a lot of those things you can clean up pretty easily. I don't think it was an overall. I don't think at any point in this game Auburn out schemed Alabama's defense.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that you had your big play, like Malcolm Simmons was all over the place for Auburn in catch and run situations, and you kind of lost him a few different times. You were all over Cam Coleman and Xavier Brown. Oh my Lord, Xavier Brown was really, 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 really good all night long.
We talked all about DeMonte Jackson this offseason. We should have been talking about Xavier Brown.
It doesn't Xavier wear number 2? Mm-hmm. Okay. He looked like a different number 2 out there in the Iron Bowl. And that number 2 that he looked like is a top 3 player in the Saban era, in my opinion. Like he gets forgotten about because the stats aren't really there. But absolute Pat Surtain was a perfect cornerback in Alabama, and he still is a perfect cornerback in the NFL. His hips, his body placement, his hands, his eye discipline, and Xavier Brown was giving me shades of Pat Surtain. And maybe that's on a little bit of Cam Coleman not being super shifty. I mean, it was a lot of streaks and a lot of fade routes, this, that, and the other. And Xavier had to play it pretty straight up. He didn't have the entire route tree that he's having to guard, but he was all over Cam Coleman the entire night. Really, really impressive. You had Eric Singleton, who had a few passes thrown his way earlier, but had some drops, but 2 drops officially on the stat sheet. But you lost Malcolm Simmons a couple of times. The first one, you got bailed out. It's not a bailed out. It was an illegal formation. You had too many guys in the backfield. You didn't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage. It was an illegal formation. Singleton skirts out to the right side, and he gets past Deontay Lawson a little bit, and in between the second and third levels of the defense, and was able to run for a 33-yard touchdown. Ends up getting called back because of the penalty. Then basically the same thing in the second half for his actual touchdown, and his actual touchdown that got them to what would that have been 13-20. Skirts out the right side. Lawson was widening out. He should have been basically covered by Dijon Lee. Dijon gets his eyes inside a little bit, looking at a crosser coming his way, and kind of favors the crosser, and basically Malcolm Simmons gets the ball down the rail and gets past him. Okay, so Dijon Lee, the freshman, learning moment. Right, whatever.
You live and you learn.
Same sort of thing to tie the game. He has a 66-yarder that puts him on the goal line. He ended up getting caught. But Zay Mincy has his hands on. It's like a 5-yard pass. Zay Mincy gets his hands on him, can't get him down, and Dijon Lee takes a pretty bad angle, honestly, and he gets the little sidestep juke, and it's 66 yards down the field. 2 plays later, Jeremiah Trotter's in the end zone, and it's tied up. Outside of those 3 plays, 1 called back by penalty and the 2 big catch and runs for Malcolm Simmons, I really, really liked the way that Alabama played. I know that Ashton Daniels, you look at him and you said, 108 yards. Okay, on the ground, rushing. 23 carries. It took him 23 dadgum carries to get there, and one of them was a 20-yarder. You make it 22 carries for 88 yards. You're like, okay, that's a little better. 11 of his 23 carries went for 3 yards or fewer. So it's not like he was really breaking you. He got a couple plays, yes, boom or bust.
Yeah.
And it was just good enough to where Derek Nix was like, I got to keep calling it. But at any given point, it was liable to go for a 1-yard gain, and oh crap, it's 2nd and 9. Oh dang it, it's 3rd and 8. Like, dang it, we wanted more out of that.
Yeah.
So I thought that they played pretty well against quarterback run. If you mitigate those yards after catch for Malcolm Simmons 3 catches, 143 and 1 touchdown on 5 targets, 101 yards yak. Okay, you take those 101 yards and make them 90, 88 or excuse me, you take 90 or 88 of them away because like you're gonna get a couple here. You got 3 catches. You're gonna say what 3-5 yards after the catch on 3, so 15 yards. You take away 85 yards off of Ashton Daniels' stat line at 259. That's basically what's 260 from 85 is 180 something, right? So really those missed tackles made Ashton Daniels' stat line look really, really good.
Yeah, I mean the passes he was catching were 6-7 yard passes. He just takes them for it takes them for 80 yards for a touchdown or whatever it was. It was not like, I mean, we kind of, like we said, it's one person not doing their job on a given play. It's not Alabama busted coverage here. Alabama called the wrong thing. It's just one guy misses an assignment.
Mm-hmm. So I thought the defense really outstanding. And you've got the drive where Bray ends up getting the interception. You are basically protecting a 7-point lead at that point. They're driving, and the ball was on the ground like 4 different times. And I was like, when are you going to get it? When are you going to get it? And then it bounces off Jeremiah Cobb and way up in the air. Bray Hubbard gets it. Like, it was, in my opinion, exactly the swarm defense because the drives are actually working today. Yesterday on stat broadcast, the drives tab was not working. You ended up with what, 5 punts, 5 punts in the game, 1 turnover on downs. You were so close to getting a second turnover on downs. Nikai Hill-Green does miss a missed tackle on Ashton Daniels scrambling out. If you get that, you're going your first 6 possessions nada. Luckily for Auburn, their 6th possession, he did get that 4th down scramble, and they turned it into a field goal. And that started to kind of turn the momentum of the game back to Auburn's favor a little bit because Bama was up 17-0. Like, just little things. College football is so just always on a knife edge, always right there on the edge. And if you slip one way, didn't get the missed tackle, the whole thing's starting to flip back the other way, and Auburn gets momentum. Bama battling throughout the whole thing. Bray Hubbard, I feel like, probably was the flip back in the momentum because Auburn was able to score 13 consecutive points before Alabama got the ball back and kicked another Connor Talty field goal.
Hey, shout out Connor Talty, by the way.
Yeah, sure, go for it. I mean, Theo did yesterday. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, just moments on you. All the eyes are upon you in the toughest environment you've maybe played in all year. Good job, good job to Connor Talty.
Absolutely. Theo said that he feels much more confident in him. Do you?
No,
right,
not at all. But good on him nonetheless.
We'll see what you do in Atlanta this week, buddy. Make the next one.
Yep. That's all I'll say on that.
Make the next one. But I thought it was like when people think about Kane Womack, think about him over the last 2 years. You've got people fire Kane Womack the second they get a first down, and we're blitzing too much, or we're not blitzing enough, and like people like going just in their feels about the defense, but not realizing this defense is pretty boomer bust in a way, and it's basically Kane gambling. Hey man, we're gonna stop.
Feature, not a bug, though.
Exactly. Yes, I'm not. Yeah. And it's boomer bust combined with bend don't break. Mm-hmm. If you march us to the red zone, okay, we'll buckle down in the red zone and we'll hold you to 2 field goal attempts as we're getting our feet back under. But if you can hit a 66-yard play down to the goal line, or if you can hit a 64-yard touchdown, well, son of a gun, you're in. But we're going to go higher risk after you in the run game. We're going to go. We're going to try to put some pressure on you. We're going to try to make you make a mistake, throw interceptions, be loose with the football. We're getting after the football. We're going after havoc plays. You only ended up with 1 sack in the game, but many, many, many quarterback pressures. I think
really good.
PFF gave our king, our quarterback pressure king, LT Overton, 5 quarterback pressures, obviously no sacks, but making Ashton Daniels feel you. I thought it was very, very, what's the Kane Womack defense? It's that game right there. It's lots of pressure. It's lots of havoc plays, and it's, dang it, they got one on us.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was really impressed with how they bottled up Jeremiah Cobb as well. This was, entering that Iron Bowl, I think he was only like 60 some odd 70 yards away from being 1,000-yard back this year. you kept him under that total. You held him to 33. He was, barely even effective for Auburn. They basically had to go away from him and utilize Ashton Daniels as the run game. So I was I'm with you. I continue to be impressed with this defense. I think you have a championship caliber defense on your hands here in Tuscaloosa. I still don't know if the offense can reach that level, but we will see.
So there we go. Alabama takes down Auburn 27-20. Had a lot of fun watching it. Had a lot of fun following it with you guys. I would ask for you to read my article on BamaCentral.com. We basically go through all these features of the defense that I just kind of outlined: the quarterback run game, the big plays allowed, how close. Like, look, if Zay Mincy comes down with the interception before 2 plays before the missed tackle, then, hey, man, you're setting Alabama up on the 40-yard line, and they're not on the goal line to tie the game.
Could have been a 34-13 game.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, margins are razor thin in this game, and that's why you just kind of have to hang in there with whatever team you're following.
Are we gonna read into Ryan Williams not being involved at all?
Go ahead.
I mean, it's just, what do we make of it? Is he getting wildly pipped by Lazier Brooks?
Well, I said yesterday that I thought he is going through growing pains of a player who's never had to go through. He's been so naturally gifted all his life.
He's been the greatest guy on the field since he started playing football.
Mm-hmm. And I think that you combine several factors. One, that. 2, look at the wide receivers, and you say, well, Jeremy, you're our most consistent outside receiver, so you're in. And then you say, well, who's next? Ryan? Are you the second most consistent outside receiver, or is it Isaiah Horton? And then it's, well,
get ready to learn slot, buddy.
Right. You've been thrown in the slot this year and largely been
underperformed.
Yeah, been pretty meh. And Lazier Brooks says, "Oh, I'm comfortable right there." And so, okay, you're combining a lot of these elements at the same time. Then you look at the offense as a whole, and you're like, well, Ryan can go get a deep shot. He can bust you over the top and really hurt you down the outside rail. Well, can Ty throw that ball right now?
Nope.
Okay, you got problems at quarterback. Who I like you, Ty. Big fan of yours. Big fan of who you are as a person as well. But just your game, you've struggled throwing the ball down the field.
It's a bad fit right now.
Yeah, you miss Jeremy Deep on one that would have opened the game up 7-0. Like, you've been struggling down the field. You have. And then it's like, okay, well, Ryan, can you run these other routes? Can you run you feel good about running a 7-yard hitch route against press coverage? I don't. I feel good about running a hitch route when the cornerback is 6 yards off the line and respecting the deep ball and respecting, oh, shoot, I don't want to get beat over the top. But they know, hey, man, they're probably not going over the top on us right here. Because pass protection, while it's been okay, it's not been great. It's been okay. I mean, Auburn ended up with how many sacks in this game? 3? Is that what I see? 3 sacks, and then busting them up on 6 total quarterback hurries, according to our friends at Stat Broadcast. Like, they got after him. So, hey, Ty, do you have time to sit back there and wait for Ryan to bust one open deep? The secondary doesn't respect the deep ball game right now, and why should they?
Yeah.
And so it's like, Ryan, can you run a slant? Can you win at the line of scrimmage and run a 7-yard hitch route, run an 8-yard hitch route? No.
All right, buddy.
So what do you do? What do you do with them at that? You combine all those factors in one. The offense can't function well enough to, hey, man, we know you can shake somebody and get by them. We know it. Well, can Ty hit that pass? That's going to be a big Russian roulette. Will
you catch that pass?
And that's the other aspect. If he does deliver the football, are you catching it? And so now put yourself in Ryan Grubb's brain. And Ryan Grubb's like, oh, crap. We don't have a running game. Well, we haven't had a running game. I need 3 yards. I need 4 yards every play. I have to stay on time because I got to avoid third and 11, third and 9, third and 8. I really got to avoid those. Yeah. If I'm at third and 6 or more, I can cut that and play 2 downs for that. And we've seen Alabama say it's 4th and 3. We don't care. We're going for it. And like balls on the table. But if you're like, are you wasting shots? Are you wasting plays to Well, maybe we get good pass protection and Ty delivers the football and Ryan catches the ball. All three aspects have to play.
Yeah.
And it's like, which one of these aspects is going to let me down? I don't know.
It'll
which
be one of them.
Right. And so you're trying to stay one step ahead of what the offense is going to, where the offense is going to crack, basically. And so you go into a lot of these run games and you started to see Ty in some quarterback run, which I love. You're going to use Ty's legs more because you haven't really used it that much this year. Not get into the Jalen Milroe territory where he's taking 20 carries, but give him about 7, about 8 to where you better respect this. When I'm riding the running back across, that defensive end better not be crashing hard because I might pull it out and pop for myself for 8 to 12 yards.
There was one where he
got smoked.
Yes, but also one where as soon as he kept it, I saw the guy taking the angle on him, and it was like, oh no, Ty, this is gonna be bad. You're not fast enough to do that. And like he just barely hit that edge there, and got around it was for 6, 7, 8 yard, whatever it was, but like that, right? He is right on the line of being able to do that.
Yeah.
You come across the wrong defensive lineman, he's not going to be able to get to the edge, but like he is just teetering on the edge of can he run, can he not run? He's not quite as fast as I thought he was, I don't think.
Raylan Wilson this week, Georgia, he's going to have an opportunity.
Yeah. You put a spy on Ty, he's not getting yardage.
Yeah. But I like you mixing it up.
Yes,
and
because
using it.
Like you said, it forces you to just respect it.
And it helps you in the actual run game. Hey, one guy is kind of hesitant.
Yeah.
So that's one fewer guy, less guy you got to block.
It is a game of milliseconds. Like you cause a guy to hesitate for just a quarter step, that gives you the opportunity to get 3 or 4 extra yards.
And the only 3 or 4 yards that you might actually get.
Yeah.
And so I think if you're in Ryan's head right now, you're like, well, how do I call this offense? And of course, we all know Ryan still super dangerous with the football in his hands, I think.
If you can get the ball in his
hands.
hands.
I think that he's still a supreme athlete on the field. But what can you call that you have confidence in with Ryan? Like, do you go back to Tennessee where he hits a couple deep crossers where it's not exactly a slant, but it's more of a deep crosser behind the second level of the defense?
I mean, of the past intermediate balls, like that seemingly was the one that Ty was pretty good at.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what because Kalen said on Sunday, our teleconference, no, exactly. He said, I think that there were a couple plays we could have gotten to him in the pass progression, but didn't. And so I think, you've got Ty just trying to survive the next down, get the ball out, not get hit, and find somebody to where you're generating completions. And I also think there's an element of, does Ty trust Ryan? When I throw it to you, I
mean, that's fact. He didn't really have a lot of reasons to.
Right, throw you back 2 weeks ago, Eastern Illinois. Yeah. We're on the goal line. I bagged Ty for his stat line against Eastern Illinois, but he could have had a touchdown pass to kind of balance some of that out. If Ryan Williams makes a reception in the end zone, it was like a 4-yard out route that you're beating a high school cornerback, and you're dropping the football anyways. Do you trust him? I don't really know.
I don't. I mean, and this is purely speculative. I've not talked to Ryan. I don't know people in Ryan's camp. But it seems like he has played all year thinking, I'm going to go be a first-round draft pick after this season. And it's like, hey, buddy, you still have a whole other year until that happens. It's just frustrating. He just plays. He plays shy. He alligator arms, and he doesn't go. I don't know.
So is Ryan going to opt out and do the Jamar Chase route?
That's what I was going to ask when we kind of first got. That was what popped into my head. What made me think of this conversation. I mean, I don't think he'd opt out, but a transfer I think is certainly on the table.
I don't think he's going to transfer. Yeah,
I think Lane Kiffin's already DM'd him.
Oh, sure, he has. He
said, "Hey, man,
I got $25 million,
$13 million a year to not do anything really."
I got 13. They told me I got $25 million budget NIL on top of rev share.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I don't want to think that Ryan would transfer, being an Alabama guy, being seemingly a very like. I mean, he's been Alabama fan his whole life, whatever. But money talks, opportunities talk. Change of scenery can do a lot for a player in their head, at least.
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to see Ryan Grubb call a few more swing passes for him.
Do you think he could be used in the like weird kind of wildcat things that they do with Jeremy Bernard? I mean, I feel like the athleticism is there. I don't know that he's quite got the toughness to break a tackle if he needs to and get maybe to the second level. But I don't know. It feels like like you're saying, like it just feels like there's ways to use his athleticism without, hey, we need you to catch a deep ball here, because he struggled with that this season.
I think there's ways, but I think that they compare Jeremy to Ryan and they say who can read a blocking pattern better, who can manipulate blocks and read a blocking pattern better. I mean,
but all it takes is one.
You had Ryan in the LSU game with a screen pass, and Buddy like ran right into some tacklers. And so I think that they think, oh well, Jeremy is the safer option,
and he is.
And so like while I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think we all love Ryan Williams and want to see him get touches. Like I was seeing it all over the internet. Why isn't Ryan? Where is he? I think there's actual legit reasons for it. And I don't think it's, well, the coaching staff hates him. I don't think that's it at all.
They don't like that he paints his nails.
I don't think that
no,
matters.
I mean, everything you said made perfect sense. I think it's just right now what he does well does not fit super well with what Alabama's offense
right.
does well.
So can you now, is he going to look different?
Let him take Jeremy's spot and let Jeremy go to the NFL and move him back to the outside next year. We may be having a totally different conversation.
Yeah, and I was going to throw a different element there with Austin Mack or Keelan Russell.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, that's
if Austin Mack is just sitting back there, boom, moonshotting it.
Yeah, it's like a t-shirt cannon when he throws the ball.
Yes, the trebuchet. He's just shonk. Yeah. Just launching it up to him. Hey, man, run under this son of a gun. This is going to be 70 yards. Just run under it.
I'm going to put this down on the 20-yard line. You go get it, buddy.
Yeah, it's going to hang in the air for 8 seconds.
All you got to do is find it's like a pop fly.
Yes. And so, like,
yeah, I'm with you.
Can we get back? And I must admit.
We love you, Ty. Go to the NFL and make your money. Please go to the NFL.
Yes.
Please go to the NFL.
Yes. So I think
go be a Steeler.
I think that's part of. I think all the combinations of the formula spit out. Oh, Ryan, not quite the right mesh for the current offense.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Which stinks, but like hang in there, Ryan. Develop your craft. Get in the weight room.
I mean, it does. Maybe I don't know that. Like, it's valuable for his development as a receiver to learn how to play in the slot. If he wants to succeed and be in the NFL for a long time, like you're going to have to learn how to be versatile. The best guys all are, but it has seemingly hampered him a bit this season.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what happens this week against the Georgia Bulldogs. You want to go into Georgia
here on Tuesday?
Go ahead.
I am confident about this game. I don't really know why.
Because Gunnar Stockton's a bum.
I think that's all it is. I watched them play Georgia Tech. It was like, this is your champion. Like, it was like okay, all right, let's go get it. Let's go play in Bryant-Denny East.
Yeah, I think that Alabama has really defensively really been able to get better. I don't want to say fix, because I don't think it's fixed. Get better at defending the run. And so you go back to that Georgia game. What did we say at the time? 6 runs of like 30 or more. Like they ended up with like 180 yards an explosive run. And I don't really think Gunner's gotten that much better at reading the field. They lost a wide receiver, didn't they? They lost Kobe Young since that game, right? Kobe Young like broke his leg, which sucks. I hate that for any player, right? They've got Noah Thomas and they've got Dylan Bell still, and they've got Zach Branch still. And I do think Zach Branch is definitely a game breaker. Sure. And I think that
David Brown will log him up.
Yeah,
at this rate.
And if you have Like Damani didn't play a ton in this past week's game, but the last time we really saw Damani against Oklahoma, he was very physical and playing in the run game very well. If you've got Damani as like a, hey man, we're just gonna get you out there, stop the run, stop the get your nose wet, get these screens that Georgia's gonna try to play, lots of screens on the outside. You're gonna have to get in there and fight another cornerback as they come out and try to block you. I think that the Alabama defense matches up very well against the Georgia offense, and the most underrated factor. Type in Drew Bobo real quick right there as I speak for about 2 minutes, and let me know if you've got any news updates on him. Apparently, Drew Bobo is hurt. The starting center for Georgia. Apparently they're going to be trying to work in Malachi Tolliver, Cortez Smith. They're going to be trying to work in some other center. Michael Morris, I think, has been teased to kick over from guard to center. And
got no new updates.
My man Tim Keenan yesterday said that's the mismatch of the game. And take us back to that. Tim barely played. Tim was healthy. That was his return game.
That was like the first, because that was where he was yelling at DeBoer on the sideline.
No, he did that at home.
He did that at home. Okay.
Tim barely played, if I can remember right.
Let me get it pulled up.
I'm pretty sure that was the game that he returned for, but limited action after tightrope surgery. You had Jam Miller come back. That was Jam's first game back, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Jam had 16 carries that game. For 46 yards.
Yeah. Pretty.
Let's see what TK did.
I think he barely played.
Yeah, and didn't even show up on the stat sheet.
Right. And I think that was his first game back for a while from that Florida State injury. But I think that this is a different.
I mean, you were able to get 2 sacks on Gunnar Stockton the last time you played. I have to imagine with an improved defense, that can maybe get that number up a little bit.
Right. Imagine you now have. Quay Russaw broke his foot in that game, but you've got Quay and Yanzi, who's had 8 games of experience, 7 games of experience, whatever the number actually is, of experience from that Georgia game. The defense, to me, Deontay Lawson is not. Oh man, still got my knee injury.
A bionic leg.
Right. Deontay Lawson has played better, slightly better every single week, and so you take slightly better, stack slightly better on every week. He's playing a lot better than he was in September. That's for dang sure.
I mean, he has played his way from okay, we're talking about him as a first round guy to I don't know about it, and then right back in the conversation. I think at this point,
I agree. So I feel really good about Alabama's defense going up against Georgia's offense. I feel not as good about Alabama's offense going up against Georgia's defense, because I feel like Alabama's offense has just been searching for the last 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Some weeks, okay, we found a little something here, and then it just goes right back away. And it can even happen in the middle of a game. It's, we've got a running game going, and now it's not. We've got a passing game, a couple passing options going, and now it's not. So the offense has come and gone. Like, this might end up being a 14-10 matchup, a 17-10 matchup.
It's certainly possible. Lazier Brooks did have 2 20-yard catches the last time they played. Maybe he's a factor in this game. Was able to get after the Georgia defense a little bit. Last time they played also, Isaiah Horton was your leading receiver. So maybe that shows up in this one as well. Who knows? I'm kind of with you, though. I do feel better about the defense matching up with Georgia's offense than I do about Alabama's offense. Just because, that has just been the weak link of this team since Vanderbilt, South Carolina.
Yeah, I think probably since the South Carolina game is fair. Really probably started to disintegrate in the Tennessee game.
Yeah.
Even though you scored a bunch in the Tennessee game, your defense sets you up. Your defense, you ended up with safety, right? Block punt.
Yeah.
No. Yanzi Pierre got a intentional grounding in the end zone for safety. You had the pick 6. So that's 9 points, and then 9 of your 37 or something from the defensive side of the football. 37. So I don't know. I think around the Tennessee game is just my gut feel, because then you went to South Carolina and the offense was just not so hot.
Yeah, I mean, Ty was solid in that game, but nothing to write home with that Tennessee game. 19 of 29 for 250 and 2 touchdowns.
Can we just have that? I'll take that. 19.
I will take that.
I'll take that on Saturday in a heartbeat, and I'll say thank you, Lord. We appreciate
that probably wins you the game.
Yeah.
I imagine. Just no turnovers. That's where you lose.
That's
where
the
you
big
lose
part.
this game to Georgia.
Mhm.
You if you turn the ball over, I think Alabama is a very favorable matchup against the Georgia Bulldogs. If we're just looking at the Jimmies and the Joes. But you lose this game if you turn the ball over. Ty, you have to protect the ball. Offensive line has to protect Ty, which I think they've done a good job of for the most part.
Yeah, about B plus almost.
Auburn was one of the not as great, but they made up for it a bit with some good run game. So, I think
I'll give up 3 sacks if we can have 150 yards rushing.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd take that.
I'll trade that. I'll make that trade any day of the week. If Georgia, you can have 3 sacks and you can have them any point in the game that you want them. If you can also give us 158 yards rushing.
Do we know what the status of Josh Cuevas is? Is he going? He's purely out for this game.
They're probably gonna make it sound like questionable.
Sure,
maybe he could play.
Is there a
he might
chance he
play.
can come back for the playoff?
Yes, is my feel.
Okay.
I think he's looking at about a month long deal, and so can you win this game and get a bye? Ooh. Hey, tonight's playoff. The Vegas. What if I told you the people in Las Vegas are projecting Alabama to move over Notre Dame tonight? Get to 9. And what's the jump from 9 to 4?
It's not out of the question for the Alabama Crimson Tide in this exact same situation with Georgia. Because what was it, 2021? You jumped from 8 to 4 after you beat Georgia in the SEC title game, knocked Georgia out of the playoffs entirely, which was in an injustice on an unfathomable scale. But
there were only 4 spots.
Tough,
you weren't going to drop anybody else out.
Should have dropped Texas.
Big 12 champion who went to Tuscaloosa and won.
Yeah, you should have dropped Texas out that year.
Hook 'em, baby. So yeah, the whispers and rumors are that Alabama is going to be moving over Notre Dame tonight, and the detractors, the people who don't like Alabama are going to cry. They're going to say, well, Notre Dame beat the mess out of Stanford. Auburn sucks. Auburn, they played a 7-point game. They suck. Why are they getting credit? Maybe because Texas A&M lost. And yeah, I don't know. I
do have one more. It
yeah,
just
please.
Reminded me one more injury. Maybe you have an update, maybe not. Do we know the status of Jam Miller?
No. But I would.
I think he's going to do everything he can to play in this game, but
I would bet he's going to be out. And I wonder, take you all the way back to week 1 where he missed those games. Are you really going to miss him when you give all those carries to Daniel Hill? And Kevin Riley, Kevin's broken his jaw, and they reported that on the broadcast, and that we kind of heard that through the week. Kevin broke his jaw in the Eastern Illinois game. And so you're looking at the running back room of Daniel Hill, A.K. Deere, Richard Young. And I think Richard Young is probably already, hey, guys, I'm transferring. So you're looking at a running back room of Daniel Hill, A.K. Deere. I'm signing up for that. I'm signing up for that.
No, that's a lot to sign up for in a game like this.
It may make me a silly man. It may make me stupid.
I would certainly feel a lot better with some more veteran presence in that room. I'll say that.
Yeah, and I'll own the fact that high risk, but
I love Daniel Hill.
I love A.K. Deere.
I don't know what you have in A.K. Deere yet.
I think you have a real mother bleeper right there.
I think you have a guy who looked like a real mother bleeper in high school.
Yes, and in 2 games against high school competition.
Yeah.
ULM and Eastern Illinois. Great job.
You throw him out there to the dogs, it might be a different story.
Time to find out.
Yeah,
time to find out who you are,
You
AK.
are correct about that. It will be time to find out because he's going to be used in this game.
You ain't a freshman anymore. We're 13 games in. Time to find out.
They're freshmen. There's no more freshmen on this team.
Right. And so I'm signing up for finding out who A.K. Deere is this week.
I think we're going to have to.
Oh,
sounds like at least. I'm sure we'll get maybe an update later in the week, I imagine. But
that gets me excited. And I'm sorry, Jam, because like you've been a dedicated good soldier.
The guy has worked his butt off for this team.
But honestly, there's nothing about Jam that makes me excited.
He's just a
good running back.
Yeah, people throw around the just a guy as like an insult sometimes, but like it's not all that bad sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're at our hour. We could talk about Alex Golesh. We could talk about Lane Kiffin. We could talk about all kinds of things.
Is the video that I saw of Alex Golesh tripping as he walks up to the stage to give a speech, was that AI?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see that video.
I couldn't even we've gotten so far that I couldn't even find to confirm if it was or not. I saw a clip of him, shaking a bunch of hands, and he goes to step up on the podium or at the stage where the podium is, and he trips and falls. Pretty sure it was AI, but again, have not been able to confirm it, and it drives me insane.
You know what looks like AI, but I think is real, is Chris Stewart talking to Kalen DeBoer in the iron, like after the game. They're doing their little coaching recap, and Chris Stewart goes, "And you won the game, and now we're going to Atlanta for the SEC championship." And Kalen DeBoer just grabs him, he's like, "Yo, let's go!" And I'm thinking, Coach DeBoer, that fired up, it looks like AI. I believe it's real. But it doesn't look like it.
You know what? All these rumors about him wanting to go to Penn State and not being exactly
thrilled. Did you see
their
saga yesterday? Go ahead.
Alabama and everything. He just needed to experience a Rhode Iron Bowl, get a win in one, see what it's like.
His family was on the field.
Get that rush of he just that unlocks
his family was on the field. They had a big old hug after. I know Jim Dunaway, Next Round Live, snapped a photo of his family all taking selfies, all the big smiles. Yeah.
I have a feeling he's pretty happy.
I think so as well. I think that, sometimes you have rocky experiences after you lose to a cruddy Florida State team that's not going to a bowl game. I think.
It's just to think where how different these conversations would be going into this game if Alabama had not lost that Florida State. Because to me, I know people want to sit here and say you are guaranteed in the playoff regardless. I still think there's a pretty good chance you get knocked out if you lose this game.
I think it's close.
Yeah,
I think the bubble is very small.
I am in agreement. But if you had not lost that game, you are guaranteed. If you're going into this a one-loss team, you are guaranteed a spot in the playoff
for sure. Because if you're a one-loss team who lost a couple points to Oklahoma a couple weeks ago, you're at 5-6.
Yeah,
you're because you would have been. You would have been a 1. You would have been a 2. You would have been a 3.
Be higher than Georgia right now because you have to win over Georgia.
Right. You'd been at 2 or 3 going into that Oklahoma game because perception-wise, they would have put you over at A&M, and they might have put you over Indiana also. You've been 2, 3, or 4, probably 2 or 3, and you lose to Oklahoma, you drop to 6, 7, and you're probably sitting here playing as number 6, number 7 against number 4, right there. Georgia's at 4. No, Georgia's at 3 now because of A&M's loss. Yeah. Right, you're playing number 3 this Saturday. 3 versus 7, they're both in. It's fine. Winner gets a bye. Losers at 6. Losers at 8. And now it's close.
You gotta go. I think you gotta win this game. You cannot. I don't think you cannot leave any doubt.
I think the bubble is tiny, and if you end up losing by, Iowa State lost by right at 19 points last year to Arizona State. Now Iowa State was already outside of the bubble looking in. I think the numbers, you got to keep this within 10. You got to keep this Georgia game within 10. Well, if you're going to lose, if you're going to end up on the wrong side of it,
you better hope you go win because
you
don't want to leave it in the committee's hands.
No,
you never want to leave it in the committee's hands because they do not know ball. That being said, if you lose this game, is this team worthy of being in the playoff?
Depends on how they lose.
I guess so.
I think it greatly depends on how they lose, because I think that if you get blown out this week, then they're going to drop you right out. But if you keep it, if you lose by 3, you lose by 2, you lose. It's the last minute and Georgia's driving in and they score and. Oh, man, you ran out of time. Ty's throwing the ball into the end zone late. Oh, ball gets knocked down.
Yeah.
Okay.
One more. Not SEC related, but playoff question.
Well, did you see what Penn State did yesterday real quick?
They
tried.
Supposedly hiring the guy from BYU, and I don't know if it didn't happen or what.
The BYU contingent.
I think money got involved and kept him home there.
for now. I think it's still up in the air. But I think the BYU folks thought, oh, we've got a slam dunk offer. Excuse me, the Penn State folks thought we have a slam dunk offer to the Penn State coach. I think I saw $11-12 million. And I think the BYU Mormon contingent, money contingent, Joseph Smith contingent, the AJ DeBansa backers all got back together and said, no, what do we need to offer him?
They've got their taste of what it is to be actually to be genuinely relevant in football. Like BYU has always been out there doing their thing, and they've had some good years here and there and like that, obviously. But like this is their first taste of, hey, we are really a part of the conversation, and they're not going to do anything to give that up.
Go ahead with your play.
What are we going to do when 8-5 Duke makes the playoffs?
They're not. I don't think they will. I think what they'll end up doing, and this will screw up the system even more. This will screw up the system even more.
They're going to put JMU in over
yes. Duke? And it's like, we're
going to get 2 group of 5s?
Yeah, and you're going to snake. You're going to snake Miami. You're going to snake
whoever.
BYU or Vanderbilt or Texas for James Madison.
Disgusting.
Oh, like, please. Like, you get to. James Madison and Tulane get to take a 5th grade level test. The rest of us have to take a senior in high school. When you're playing group of 5 teams, you got 9 group of 5 teams, and we got our big final exam against the Power 4 squad, Tulane. We're going up to Ole Miss. Tulane played Ole Miss, Duke, and Northwestern. They got smoked by Duke. They got smoked by Ole Miss. They beat Northwestern. I don't care that you beat Northwestern. That's like the 2nd or 3rd worst team in the Big Ten. So great, you won that game, but you got smoked in your other 2 Power 4 games, and then you get to play your group of 5 schedule, and it's week after week after week of 5th grade level tests, a middle school test, but Alabama has to play a senior level course every dadgum week. Like, you're not judging these teams that you like. And if Alabama, you fail to see, like, I know that the Florida State game wasn't the 500 level test; it was the 100 level test. But it's still a college course.
Yeah, James, JMU, you had your playoff game already. You played Louisville. You had a chance to prove yourself as maybe being
How bad was that game?
28-14. But you lost regardless. You're not on the same level. I mean, the
Louisville team that beat Miami.
Yes, like I get that they are just punishing these nobodies in the group of 5 here. And like, yes, James, the highlights.
We should not have this DEI spot.
It's just like I'm just so over we got to get the group of 5 involved. They let them have their own thing.
Can you believe that BYU and Penn State last won a national championship very, very similar at times? Penn State has 2 claimed national championships, 1982 and 1986. BYU claimed a national championship in 1984.
There.
So it's not that much different, BYU coach. Stay.
Yeah, just stay home. I guarantee.
Kalani
you got
Sitake.
access to more money at BYU than you do at Penn State.
Kalani Sitake. I wanted to make sure
Guaranteed.
I got his name right. That's why I didn't say it earlier. Sitake, you played at BYU. Oh, he's staying.
Yeah, he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Penn State is going to that program is about to spiral.
Once Kalen wins this game on Saturday, they're going to say, "What are we going to do?"
I don't know what they are going to do because everybody's been hired.
Apparently, the rumor is that Jimmy Sexton's mad that they fired James Franklin, so he's peeing on every single one of their hires.
That's hilarious. Jimmy Sexton has far too much power in college football.
Yes,
it's ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
I mean, there's a bunch of coaching stuff we get into, but we can save that for another show.
All right. Well, we didn't take a single break to say hello and thanks to Purple Turtle Roofing. We need to make sure that we appreciate them and let you guys know that the program is brought to you by Purple Turtle Roofing. You can call them at 877-787-6635. At Purple Turtle Roofing, we're not just another contractor. We're your neighbor and your advocate when it comes to protecting your home or business. With years of hands-on experience, top-tier certification, and a commitment to excellence, we've built a reputation as Alabama's go-to roofing solution. Purple Turtle Roofing specializes in residential roofing, commercial roofing, emergency storm repairs, full-on roof replacements, insurance claim support, and more. Call them today at 877-787-6635. Make sure your roof is Santa ready. And look, after the 25th, you probably want to get them checked to make sure that Dasher and Reindeer and Blitzen and Comet and all those reindeer didn't do too much damage to your roof. It is raining today in West Alabama. It was raining a little bit yesterday, so you want to make sure that all your home is secure, no leaks. Call them 877-787-6635. My man Brax Garrison and his team will come out and check out your roof, let you know what you need, give you the peace of mind so that you can enjoy the holiday season with your family. Appreciate Mason Woods for joining me today. We had a lot of fun today. The hour flew by. I hope it flew by for you guys as well. And we got a big day on BamaCentral.com as we're talking to more players before the SEC championship game. You can call us on the voicemail line. Leave your SEC championship predictions or thoughts. Are you feeling confident against Georgia, going against Georgia a second time? What do you think about Lane Kiffin going to LSU? What do you think about Auburn hiring Alex Golesh? You can chime in on my Twitter machine about James Smith's celebration. Lots of people are doing that, his sack celebration. You can call us at 205-462-7340, extension 800, as we're going to have a lot of fun the rest of the week right here on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com.
Thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Keep up with Joe on all his social media pages at Joe Gaither6. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and be sure to read us daily at BamaCentral.com.